Hi, folks. This is Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all the things to do. Today, I've got a package from Limited Run Games, and this contains the PlayStation, Switch, and soundtrack blind boxes that were part of their holiday blowout sale. And apparently, they had to be hand assembled and randomized before they could be shipped out to the public, which accounts to the several months delay before they actually got here. But let's go ahead and open up this box because I got a couple other things in here besides the blind boxes, and I will open those too and see what kind of value I got out of them. I'm obviously going to be happy with them no matter what I got, but you might be interested to see if you're getting blind boxes in the mail, what your odds are of getting something either decent or fantastic, depending on the randomized nature of it all. And they have promised that some of these blind boxes will have either autographed trading cards or one-of-a-kind printing plate cards from before they went to the manufacturing process. But of course, that's randomized, so it's like buying a pack of baseball cards and hoping that you get the holographic foil card or the autographed card inside. You have no way of knowing what you get in that box, and the odds probably aren't in your favor, to misquote the Hunger Games. I'm not saying there's a good chance that I'll get an autographed card or a printing plate card, but you never know. I did get Shantae, though. That was one of the things that I picked up from their overstock sale, which, quite frankly, I was surprised was still in stock at all. And I've got trading bait now as far as that goes, or I could just keep it sealed and put it on display. I've also got this Panzer Dragoon soundtrack, which comes in a very nice style Sega Saturn case. This accompanies the re-release modern day revised version that I bought for PlayStation 4. It was a bundle, the soundtrack and the game together as one. And speaking of soundtracks, there's the blind box for a soundtrack. Blind box for that was $8.99. For the PS4, it was $29.99, and for the Switch, it was $34.99. They also included this envelope, which surprised me a little bit. Let's see what's inside of that. Well, it looks like they threw in some alternate artwork for the Panzer Dragoon soundtrack that you can put into the soundtrack Sega Saturn case. I wish they sold those cases separately because I could sure use some replacement cases for some of my Sega Saturn games. Those clamshells are as fragile as eggshells. They also included the latest edition of their newsletter, which is kind of interesting to me that they stuck one in that envelope, given that I was told previously that overstock orders from the blowout sale do not include newsletters or trading cards. But I suppose since they had to use an envelope for that alternate cover artwork, they decided to go ahead and throw a newsletter in there anyway. I'm not complaining. That's fine by me. Let's go ahead and get into these blind boxes and find out what goods await me inside. Starting with this one for Nintendo Switch. Kind of a brownish tan color and a very polygonal shape, kind of like those boxes that Clint from LRG is always raving about, the 90s packaging of PC big box games. It reminds me of that feeling. But anyway, let's get this shrink wrap off and see what's in here. Now, for the value proposition here, I'll be going by the current price charting average, which says that Avicii Invector, new and unopened, can be bought for $31.10, which means this blind box was probably not a great value proposition because the random game that I got inside actually ends up being worth $3 less than the blind box. But if it's a good game, I'll be happy to overlook paying a few dollars extra, especially since combined shipping, I actually would have saved money on that, so it kind of comes out in the wash, as they say. But I really don't know anything about Avicii Invector without pulling it out of this box to have a better look at it. And from what I can tell, looking at the back, it seems to be some sort of rhythm game because it lists a whole bunch of songs. It says all of Avicii's biggest hits. Okay, who is Avicii? I I'm honestly clueless. This must be like a techno artist, but if it's some sort of rhythm game or rail game, some kind of thumper type game, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. I don't really know what to expect from Avicii and Vector, the Encore Edition. Just have to play it and find out. Let's move on to another one of these blind boxes and find out what they have to offer. What one should I do next? Let's go with the soundtrack one since that was only $8.99. So I'm not even going to look that one up on price charting. I'm just going to consider whatever it is to be whatever it is because I doubt there's a listing for it anyway. And $8.99 for a soundtrack out of a blind box is definitely cheaper than the standard price you would pay for a soundtrack from limited run games, which I believe is anywhere from $10 to $15 in most cases, sometimes more than that if it's a double CD. So I'm just going to be happy with whatever's in here, no matter what it is. I haven't gotten a soundtrack from limited run in quite a while, although I believe my order of Demon's Tilt is coming with a soundtrack, so I've got something to look forward to there. And what game, pray tell, is this? Why, it's Defender's Quest, Valley of the Forgotten. Once again, I admit this is a game I'm not familiar with, but it appears to be some sort of RPG or maybe turn-based strategy game. And there is a trading card inside here as promised. They did say every blind box would come with a trading card. Whether or not it'd be autographed or limited edition, that would be up to the random assembly, but this doesn't appear to be either. It just appears to be a standard LRG trading card. I wish they would just sell entire sets of the trading cards or sell them in packs. That would be a lot more convenient than getting one single card per order. Last but not least, we have the PlayStation 4 blind box, and the shrink wrap is already starting to bunch up on the back, so this was the easiest one to get open. Maybe it had been sitting in the warehouse for a while and kept on shrinking up in the heat, which is why I say if you've got old shrink wrap games and you think they're worth more that way, it might not be, because that shrink wrap could eventually crush the box. Think about opening your sealed games, because unless you're going to put them in a slab, you may lose the value over time. And even then, they may shrink up further. So apparently, Rocket Birds, the hard-boiled edition, goes for $50 new, which makes the third thing out of three things that I bought that I was completely unfamiliar with coming out of the blind box. So, not super into the very, how shall I say, Far Eastern Europe theming here. Not super into that right now, given the current state of political affairs in the world. Obviously, the game's designers couldn't have known that at the time they made it, so I will have to give it a chance regardless of that. But if I had to pick something I would have wanted out of a blind box, maybe not something that looks inspired by Mother Russia. That would have been my preference. If it's a good game, though, it's a good game. And the bottom line is I came out a few dollars behind on the Switch blind box, but about 20 ahead on the PS4 blind box. So on the whole, I think this is a pretty good haul. What do you guys think? Leave your comments below, and thanks for watching.